Welcome to AI World TV, your go-to destination for everything artificial intelligence. Discover the captivating landscape of AI, where advanced technology finds real-life application. Subscribe to AI World TV for webzine articles, reports, podcasts, videos, live events, and latest trends. Hear from top industry leaders and discover how AI is transforming industries and our daily lives.
I want you to visualize a classic corporate skyscraper.
Yeah.
Like just a massive towering structure.
Okay. Yeah, I'm picturing it.
So down on the ground floor, you've got the entry-level production, the junior folks just grinding out the heavy lifting.
Like the assembly line.
Exactly. And then way up in the penthouse, you have the senior executives managing those multi-million-dollar client relationships and the big picture vision.
The corner offices.
Yeah. But taking up floors 2 through 49 is this sprawling, really dense middle layer. The strategists, the project managers, the coordinators.
The people who actually keep the lights on and the work moving.
Right. Now, imagine a localized earthquake
Right.
that completely vaporizes floors 2 through 49, but leaves the penthouse just like hovering in midair. Welcome to today's deep dive. We are looking at a fundamental restructuring of how knowledge work actually gets done.
It's a striking visual. I mean, and it gets right to the heart of the structural crisis we're mapping out today.
It really does.
Because for a long time, the conversation around AI in the enterprise was just highly speculative. It was this parlor game about whether the technology would fundamentally change operations.
Like a what-if scenario.
Right, exactly. But we have firmly exited that theoretical phase. We are now in the structural teardown phase. The real question is exactly how much of the traditional workflow will remain human-driven over, say, the next 5 years.
Especially in the marketing and agency world, which brings us to our primary source material for this deep dive.
Yes, the Chen piece.
Yeah, we're unpacking a fascinating June 5, 2026 article from the AI World Journal by Philip Chen. It's titled The AI Agency Disruption: Why Venture Capital is Betting Billions on Replacing the Middle Layer of Marketing.
It's a great read. Really breaks down the mechanics of the shift.
It does. And our mission here today is to, well, reverse engineer what Chen calls the new AI marketing stack. We're going to look under the hood of 3 specific billion-dollar startups that are leading this charge.
And figure out what this massive shift, this transition from monetizing human effort to monetizing pure performance means for you listening and your understanding of the future of work.
Right. So to understand the solution these startups are selling, we first have to understand the inefficiency they're attacking.
Exactly. The article focuses heavily on the traditional agency business model, which has been remarkably rigid for, over 2 decades.
Yeah, it relies entirely on that pyramid structure we just described.
Right. At the bottom, junior talent. At the top, senior visionaries. But the vast majority of the agency's overhead, the real bulk of the costs, sits right in the middle.
The account managers, media planners, campaign specialists. Chen actually called that middle layer the engine room of the industry.
He does.
But okay, let's unpack this because I have to push back on the premise here just a bit.
Sure.
Why are venture capitalists throwing billions of dollars at disrupting the middle layer? It feels counterintuitive. I mean, whenever we talk about automation, we always assumed AI would come for the assembly line workers first.
Right. The historical precedent.
Yeah, you automate the lowest paid, most repetitive tasks at the bottom of the pyramid. So why aim for the highly paid strategists instead of the entry-level grunt work?
Because, honestly, the grunt work isn't actually where the bottleneck is.
Really?
Yeah. The true cost center in any massive knowledge work organization isn't the production. It's the friction.
The friction. Okay, explain that.
That middle layer is where all the expensive, friction-heavy handoffs occur. Think about it. When a creative idea at the top needs to become a final deliverable at the bottom, it doesn't just, teleport there.
Right. It doesn't just magically happen.
Exactly. It has to pass through strategists, media planners, project managers. It requires meetings upon meetings, briefs, revisions, endless Slack threads, and coordination.
Oh, man, it's just the bureaucracy of execution.
Precisely. That's exactly it. By targeting the strategists and the optimization specialists, these AI startups are not just offering a slightly cheaper way to do the same work.
They're attacking the friction itself.
Yes. They're proposing a completely different value proposition, which is the total removal of human coordination delays.
So they're essentially telling a brand like, hey, you don't need a team of 20 middle managers to coordinate this campaign. You just need our software.
That is the pitch, 100%.
Okay, let's ground this by looking at the first company highlighted in this new AI marketing stack. It's called Hightouch, and they're playing with serious capital.
Very serious capital.
The source notes they recently hit a $2.75 billion valuation,
Right.
backed by a $150 million funding round led by Goldman Sachs. And they're already embedded in enterprise brands like Domino's.
It's massive enterprise adoption.
But, I mean, a massive valuation doesn't really explain the mechanism. So what does this all mean for a brand like Domino's? What is Hightouch actually doing? Are they just putting a robot in charge of their coupon emails?
Well, what's fascinating here is that if it were just a sophisticated autoresponder, Goldman Sachs wouldn't be leading a $150 million round.
Fair point.
Institutional capital views Hightouch as foundational infrastructure. The article categorizes them as an AI marketing decision engine.
Decision engine.
Yeah. To understand how it works, look at the traditional alternative. Historically, if you wanted to run a highly personalized campaign, an agency would build an entire department around it.
Right.
You'd have humans pulling data, running customer segmentation, mapping out audience targeting, and optimizing the flow.
Basically a room full of analysts staring at demographic spreadsheets trying to figure out, like, if college students buy more pizza on rainy Tuesdays.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And humans can only process a tiny fraction of the available variables. But Hightouch's AI agents ingest massive, continuous streams of real-time behavioral data.
So it's constantly learning.
Right. It isn't waiting for a human strategist to manually query a database. It acts as an autonomous decision engine. It analyzes millions of micro-interactions, app usage, historical purchase data, local weather patterns, time of day, and automatically determines which specific customer receives which message through which channel at the exact moment they're most likely to convert.
So it's making the strategic choices,
Yeah.
not just executing a preset rule. I mean, that is a massive distinction. It's not just an if-then statement.
No, not at all.
It's actively synthesizing the data and acting on it faster than a human department ever could.
It does the work of a 50-person analytics team in milliseconds. It personalizes every single interaction to the individual customer without needing that massive middle layer of agency staff to plan the routing.
Okay, so Hightouch maps out the perfect audience. It knows exactly who needs to hear the message.
Right.
But there is a glaring blind spot in that strategy, I think. What happens when the consumer doesn't wait for your targeted push notification?
Ah, right. Inbound versus outbound.
Yeah. What if they take the initiative and actively search for a solution themselves? Because deciding who to message only matters if the customer can actually find your brand when they go looking. And the way people search is fundamentally changing. Which brings us to the second startup, Profound.
Profound is arguably the most fascinating case study in the whole article just because of the sheer velocity of its growth.
It is staggering. I mean, founded in just 2024, and by 2026, it hits unicorn status, a $1 billion valuation.
A 2-year sprint to $1 billion.
Yeah, and they did it by dominating what the industry is now calling the AI search economy. They're capitalizing on the death of traditional Google SEO. But, you know, here's where it gets really interesting, and I have to push back a bit.
Go for it.
Traditional SEO was a game of keywords, backlinks, tricking an algorithm to rank on page one. But you can't really SEO a chatbot, can you? It's a completely different architecture.
Right. It's generative, not an index.
Yeah. If an AI is optimizing visibility inside another AI, aren't we just creating a new chaotic form of bot-on-bot warfare? Like, how does Profound actually influence a large language model?
That is the exact technical hurdle Profound solved. You are absolutely right that you cannot keyword stuff your way into an LLM's response. Consumers are bypassing traditional search engines. They open Claude, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, and they ask direct, really complex questions.
Right. They treat it like a consultant.
Exactly. If a consumer asks, what is the best enterprise cloud architecture for a mid-size healthcare provider, and the LLM doesn't synthesize your brand into its answer, you effectively do not exist in that ecosystem.
You are totally invisible.
Completely invisible.
You are listening to the AI World Podcast, your trusted source for the latest innovations, insights, and trends in artificial intelligence, blockchain, fintech, and decentralized technologies. Each episode features expert interviews, engaging discussions, and in-depth analysis of how AI transforms industries worldwide. Stay ahead of the curve with the latest articles and exclusive reports from the AI World Journal, covering everything from emerging technologies to industry breakthroughs. For more news, global events, and access to AI World Society circle gatherings, visit us at aiworld.tv. Don't forget to subscribe to stay informed, stay connected, and be part of the AI revolution with AI World Lounge. Thank you for listening.
Profound recognized that LLMs do not read web pages like traditional indexers. They map semantic relationships.
Okay.
They rely on RAG, retrieval augmented generation, and complex knowledge graphs to pull information. So Profound's mechanism involves reverse engineering how these models weigh brand sentiment, authority, and relevance.
Okay, so how do they actually manipulate that weight?
By optimizing the data density and the citations that feed into those models' training corpuses and their real-time retrieval pipelines.
So it's only just building dummy links.
No, it is about semantic authority. Profound helps brands structure their digital footprint so that when an AI assistant synthesizes a topic, the mathematical proximity between the user's query and the brand solution is just undeniable.
Wow.
Investors threw $1 billion at Profound because they realized the legacy SEO agency model is entirely useless against generative interfaces.
Okay, let's connect these pieces into a hypothetical campaign flow.
Yeah.
High touch is acting as the central nervous system, right? Analyzing the data and strategizing exactly who to target and when.
Yes.
And then Profound is handling the visibility, the semantic mapping, ensuring that when those targets ask an AI assistant a question, your brand is positioned as the authoritative answer.
Exactly. Strategy and visibility.
But we still have a massive gap in this assembly line. Who is actually building the assets? Who codes the landing page? Who deploys the updates? We need an execution layer.
The hands.
Yeah, and that is where the third company comes in, Gradial.
Right, because the strategy is totally useless if it cannot meet the reality of digital operations. Gradial addresses the final mile of this whole process.
And again, we aren't talking about small experimental pilot programs here. The source notes, Gradial has raised $55 million, and their clients are heavy hitters. AWS, T-Mobile, Prudential.
Massive, inherently complex organizations.
Yeah, and the article notes that Gradial handles content updates, quality assurance, website redesigns, workflow management. If high touch is the brain, Gradial is the hands.
I like that analogy.
And I have to share some personal pain here.
Yeah.
Because if you have ever worked in a large corporate environment, you know that deploying a simple website update is an absolute nightmare.
Oh, it is the definition of the friction we were discussing earlier.
Right. If I want to change like the hero image and the copy on a landing page, I have to write a brief. Then the strategist reviews it.
Yeah.
A designer creates a mock-up in Figma. Then it gets handed off to a front-end developer to actually write the code. Then it sits in a staging environment while QA tests it. And a project manager is running around chasing approvals for 3 weeks.
It's a relay race where everyone drops the baton.
Exactly. How does Gradial compress that?
By entirely flattening the execution layer. Gradial ingests your brand guidelines, it pulls the strategic intent generated by a system like High Touch, and then autonomous agents generate the actual code and design assets.
Wait, they write the code?
Yes. It doesn't just create a mock-up, it builds the functional update. It runs its own automated quality assurance protocols to ensure it won't break the existing architecture, and then it just deploys it.
So a 3-week relay race becomes an API call that takes 30 seconds.
That is the value proposition. Gradial eliminates the delays between strategy and execution. The AI systems perform the tasks that previously demanded multiple human handoffs across all those different departments.
Wow.
They have automated everything that sits between the initial brief and the final deployed deliverable.
So let's look back at our corporate skyscraper. Floors 2 through 49 are looking incredibly empty right now.
Very empty.
We have the targeting decisions automated, the search visibility optimized for LLMs, and the actual execution and coding handled by autonomous agents. But, as we pivot from the raw technology to the business implications, the author highlights a shift that I think is the most dangerous part of this narrative.
The financial piece.
Yeah, for the traditional knowledge work industry, the disruption isn't just the code these startups are writing. It's who they're selling it to and how they are structuring the financials.
The financial tectonic shift. This is where the structural integrity of the traditional agency model really buckles under the pressure.
The article emphasizes this point heavily. These companies, High Touch, Profound, Gradial, are not pitching agency owners.
No, they aren't.
They aren't trying to make agencies more efficient. They are bypassing the agencies entirely and selling directly to chief marketing officers at these enterprise brands.
They are circumventing the traditional gatekeepers completely. And in doing so, they are destroying the foundational economic model of the agency world, which is the billable hour and the monthly retainer.
The death of billable hours.
Exactly. We have to examine the margin architecture of a traditional agency here. For decades, agencies made their money by renting out human capacity.
Right. You pay the agency a $50,000 monthly retainer, and they assign 30 smart people to your account, and they bill you for the time those people spend sitting in meetings and writing briefs.
Exactly. The model monetizes people. It is inherently tied to time spent.
Yeah.
But these AI startups completely reject that framework.
Right.
They do not price based on retainers or headcount. They price based on outcomes.
That's a huge shift.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, they are promising measurable business results. They are not selling software features, and they are certainly not selling human effort. They are selling a 5% lift in Q3 revenue. They monetize performance.
Think about that from the perspective of a CMO. A traditional agency comes to you and says, hey, we have a highly experienced team of 20 middle managers who will coordinate your campaign over the next 2 months, and we will bill you for their time.
Right.
And then an AI infrastructure company comes in and says, our system will analyze the data, build the assets, and execute the campaign instantly, and we only charge you based on the performance lift. I mean, that isn't a competition, that's a slaughter.
It is an existential threat to the agency profit center. As AI systems become more autonomous and capable of handling complex reasoning tasks, enterprise clients are going to become entirely apathetic to how many human bodies are working on an account.
They don't care.
They only care about the delta in their business metrics. The shift from paying for time to paying for results upends the economics of the entire industry.
And I want to bring this directly back to you listening right now, because this isn't just a marketing story. Whether you are in finance, legal tech, HR, or really any knowledge-based field, the shift from paying for human time to paying for system outcomes is a massive paradigm shift you have to prepare for.
Absolutely.
If your primary value to your organization is that you spend 40 hours a week coordinating information, moving a project from one desk to another, or managing the handoffs between creatives and developers, you are sitting in the engine room. And the engine room is exactly what venture capital is spending billions to automate.
It is a sobering reality check. The investors pouring money into this category are not funding slightly better workflow software. They are placing massive bets on the fundamental restructuring of how a corporation operates.
Let's look at the ultimate takeaways here, because it's not entirely a doom and gloom scenario for human workers.
Yeah.
The traditional agency isn't going to vanish into thin air tomorrow.
No, of course not.
The source makes it very clear that creativity, deeply resonant brand strategy, storytelling, and executive human relationships,
Right.
the absolute top of our pyramid, are still profoundly human disciplines.
Yes.
AI isn't taking over the penthouse.
The executive layer remains largely insulated. The nuanced understanding of human emotion that goes into brand positioning, the high-stakes negotiation, the trust required in a client relationship, those remain uniquely human competitive advantages.
Right.
The agencies that survive this transition will likely be smaller, highly specialized teams. They will embrace systems like Hightouch and Gradial as their primary execution engines, stripping out the operational friction so the human talent can focus entirely on high-level insight.
It makes sense.
Those who resist, who try to cling to the bloated retainer models, those are the ones facing obsolescence.
It's the classic rule, right? Adapt to become obsolete.
Ah.
But as we unpack this, there is a massive bug in this new operating system we are describing. We established that the top layer survives. The visionaries in the C-suite stay in the penthouse.
Right.
And we established that the massive middle layer, the engine room of strategists and coordinators, is entirely automated by AI.
Yes, the middle layer is removed to eliminate friction.
But think about how a career actually works. Where do those visionaries come from? You don't just graduate from college, walk into a corporation, and take over the penthouse.
No, you don't.
You spend 10 years in the engine room. You spent a decade as a coordinator and a middle manager, making mistakes, learning how to handle complex client demands, and developing the strategic judgment that eventually qualifies you for the executive suite.
Right. We rely on the middle layer as the training ground for human expertise.
Exactly. If the junior tier is just grunt work, and the massive middle layer is entirely automated by AI because it's faster and cheaper, where does the next generation of senior human leadership come from?
That is the million-dollar question.
If nobody is allowed to be a middle manager anymore, how does anyone ever get the experience required to lead the company? If we remove the middle of the pyramid, do we accidentally break the pipeline for creating human experts?
We solve the friction of execution, but we inadvertently break the pipeline for creating the next generation of human leadership.
Right. We engineered a hyper-efficient corporate machine, but we might have completely forgotten to build a way for the humans to actually take the elevator up. It is a structural paradox that these companies haven't solved yet, and it's something for you to really mull over. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Keep questioning the evolving world around you, and we will see you next time.
The future of artificial intelligence is unfolding, and it's happening at AI World Week, the flagship global event for innovation, collaboration, and transformation. This flagship global AI event is designed to connect visionary leaders, trailblazing entrepreneurs, and influential thinkers to explore the endless possibilities of AI. Experience groundbreaking technology that redefines industries and inspires progress. Join thought-provoking discussions on ethical AI, digital equity, and the transformative role of technology in our world. Build meaningful connections that catalyze innovation and drive impact. AI World Week is powered by AI World Society, a global movement dedicated to advancing AI responsibly and ensuring it serves humanity. Together, we're shaping a smarter, more inclusive, and equitable future. Continue your journey beyond the event with the AI World Journal, offering expert insights, in-depth analysis, and the latest trends shaping the AI landscape. This is your opportunity to lead, to innovate, and to transform the world with AI. AI World Week. We invite you to join us and embrace the AI revolution.